Hello friends, I made this video a year ago for the Kneady Homesteader YouTube channel as a way to keep content going on her channel while she and her family recovered from the tragic accident that claimed the life of her husband Matt and severely injured Heather and her two children. I hope you enjoyed this recipe that Heather had inspired me to make. Hello friends, my name is Rachel and welcome back to the Kneady Homesteader channel. Myself and some other creators are putting up some videos on Heather's channel to keep her channel going in YouTube land while she goes through her recovery process. The goal here is to show how we have been inspired by Heather to do something using the hashtag #InspiredByKneady. One thing that Heather inspired me to do was make my own bread. I'm a very visual person, very much a visual learner, and that is one thing that brings me back to Heather's channel over and over and over. I need someone to show me, even if it's a long video, I want to see every detail of the process. And YouTube is a place where you can learn all sorts of things. And I found her YouTube channel, it was actually through it was a planner video. It was a traveler's notebook that she had. And then I saw all the bread videos and completely fell down that rabbit hole. And so today I'm gonna be making one recipe that I've done several times and loved each and every time. I'm gonna be doing her twist bread. She did a pesto twist bread. She did a cinnamon sugar twist bread. She even did a chocolate twist bread. And I knew when I saw her video, it was a little over a year ago, I knew when I saw that video, I want to make a pizza twist bread. So that's what I'm going to be doing for you today. I do things a little bit differently than Heather does in the kitchen because of the tools that I have, and I'm very much use what you have. So I'm going to be showing you how I make her twist bread. I will link my information below so you can go check out my channel, and I will also try to link everything that I'm using if I can, and of course the recipe down below, and of course I will also link her videos that inspired me. So let's go ahead and jump right in. First, I'm going to be using my bread maker for this recipe. I will talk a little bit more about that later, but we're going to start with 1.5 cups of warm water. And the yeast that we're going to be adding today is instant yeast, bread machine yeast, so I don't let it proof. We're going to need 2 teaspoons of that. Next, we're adding 2 tablespoons of sugar. I just use plain white sugar. There may be some other substitutes that you can try, but just plain sugar works for me. And now 2 tablespoons of milk powder. This was something that I had to get beyond. I thought it was strange to add it, but y'all, it really makes it. And of course, Heather describes why in her videos. And I'm adding here 2 teaspoons of salt. I'm not good at filming doing this, so y'all are sweet to bear with me. But yeah, I'm adding 2 teaspoons of salt here. I just use regular salt. You can use sea salt, whatever you like. And of course 2 tablespoons of softened butter. Mine got a little bit too soft. Now, because I'm doing a more savory bread, this is a pizza twist bread, I'm using a teaspoon of Italian seasoning, and then you'll see here in a minute I'm gonna add another garlic type seasoning mix. My husband got it at Walmart, and I can't really even tell what it's called, but it is so good. I need to find more, but you can add whatever Italian type seasoning you like. If you want to just add plain herbs or a seasoning mix, that's totally up to you. Now I'm going to sift 4 cups of bread flour. Bread flour makes all the difference here. All-purpose flour is just fine in this, but because of the extra gluten, bread flour I feel like makes a huge difference in the sponginess of the bread. And so I'm adding 4 here, and y'all, I never used to sift my flour in anything, but ever since I started making bread, I always sift. I feel like it makes a huge difference. My mom was always sift, and I just started doing this, and Mama was right all along. Now, as you see, I'm using this bread maker, and the mixer that I have that I used for a long time trying to make my own bread, I have a standard KitchenAid mixer and a stand mixer. And while it's really great for cakes and cookies and things like that, the dough hook just doesn't need the bread like it needs to be kneaded. And so I just use this for the kneading portion. Sometimes I bake bread in here, but I found that I don't like the shape of the bread when it comes out of the bread maker. And so I just use this for the kneading portion. It makes it a lot softer, and I also don't have to knead it as much by hand after it comes out of here. Now in Heather's video, she says that you need to knead it in your stand mixer for 5 to 7 minutes, or even by hand 5 to 7 minutes. This is more like 25 or 30 minutes. Well, maybe not that long, but it's a while. And I just kind of keep an eye on it. I keep the top open so I can keep an eye on it. And when it looks right and feels right, then I will pull it out of the bread machine and turn it out onto my cutting board. Now, as you see, I'm turning it over on my bamboo cutting board. In the past, when I've done this and it hasn't quite been right, I've added just a little bit of moisture on my hands or some flour to make it just right, but this came out perfectly from my bread maker. Now I'm gonna put it in a bowl and add some olive oil to the bowl. And as you can see, I got a little heavy-handed with the olive oil. It's okay, but you do not need as much as I just added. So I'm just gonna put it in there, swirl it around, and get it all ready to rise. I have the perfect little gadget to cover this with. This is I don't even know what it's called, a food cover. It's made out of kind of a muslin cotton. It says we can never have enough nature. I got it from mightyfix.com. And I'm setting it on top of my stove right here for 1 hour to rest. Now let's talk about my bread maker. This is a Regal bread maker. I think it's about 20 years old. I actually got it about 10 years ago on my church's sale swap board. I got it for free, y'all, and it sat for the longest time in my pantry before I was brave enough to actually use it. And like I said earlier, sometimes I do make bread in this, but I don't like the shape that it comes out in. But I will use this to knead bread. I will use this to knead pizza dough, cinnamon roll dough. It works great for me. Now this is probably the best part of this whole process. Got some anger? Man, all you gotta do is get that fist and punch it. So much fun to do that. You can see all that extra olive oil. Oh my goodness, what a mess. But that is such a satisfying thing that it's risen. It's done what it's supposed to do. And here I'm rolling it out, and I love to get my hands in dough. I don't know about you guys, there's something so satisfying about it, but I love this part. I mean, I could just roll and roll and roll just for the fun of it. And I'm using this silicone pastry mat that I got from Aldi a long time ago. I use this rather than my countertop, even though my countertop is perfectly clean. Now this device, you see me using the Pullman pan. Heather made me buy this, you guys. I think I got this about 3 or 4 years ago. Perfect for making your own bread so that it looks like store-bought bread. She has so many Pullman pan recipes on her channel if you're new here, so please go check those out. I got my Pullman pan on Amazon and I absolutely love it. Now we're gonna bake this bread in my Pullman pan, and the reason why I brought it out was to gauge what size I needed to roll out this dough, because it's gonna have to fit in this Pullman pan. So that's why I brought that out. Now I'm taking some shredded cheese. I just like it in the bag. This is from Aldi. Maybe one day when I have more time, I will grate my own cheese, but today we're using grated cheese in a bag. And to make this a pizza bread, I'm adding some pepperonis. And the pepperonis that I got here are from Aldi as well. Almost everything I get is from Aldi, and they are thick cut. And to be honest, you guys, I don't like these. I would prefer the really thin ones, but they work out okay. So while we decorate this pizza bread, I just want to talk about how I know Heather. I met her probably about 3 or 4 years ago through my friend Allison, who introduced us because she was selling LuLaRoe. Allison was selling LuLaRoe, and Heather and I became acquainted that way, and we're both homeschool moms. Our kids are close to the same age, and we just really bonded over that. And she's the sweetest person ever. I know you enjoy her channel. So as you can see here, I am rolling it up nice and tight. I'm closing the edges, pinching them a little bit, and pinching the edge around the dough. And if you roll it like that, it kind of presses that opening closed a little bit. Now, I could not find my pastry cutter. I don't know where it went, so I used the side of this spatula. And all I'm doing is taking the bread roll and dividing it in two. I should have kept the audio in here because I was cracking up, going, oh, I'm messing this up so much. But I put it into 2 little loaves. As you can see, I'm just trying to rein in the madness, but I'm twisting them so that they fit in the Pullman pan. Oh my goodness, what a mess. But it turns out okay. Just trust me. Now I'm putting this back on my stove so that it can rest for 1 more hour, and I'm covering it with a little towel there. And I'm also setting my oven to 400. And yeah, I think Heather uses a convection oven at 425, but I have a regular oven and I set it for 400 degrees. And this is what it looks like after it's risen for an hour. So it's gotten quite a bit larger. And I'm gonna put it in the oven for 30 minutes. And some people it takes 35, but I found 30 or even less works best. And here is the finished product. As you can see, the cheese burned a little bit. Those thick cut pepperonis got a little burned, but it does not even matter. Look how beautiful. That melted cheese inside the bread on the side tastes so good. And I'm using this bread knife to cut it in half so you can see the middle. It'll look different throughout the bread depending on where you cut it because it is twisted. And you can see that I'm cutting a little slice for myself. I added butter to this, you guys. Oh, it didn't need it, but oh man. I put it on a plate, put a little bit butter on that bread, and wow, so delicious. You can see the cheese in there that's melted, and the pepperoni, yum. So I hope you enjoyed this video today. If you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. And of course, if you are new here, if you've never been to Heather's channel before, hit her red subscribe button. Like I said, everything I can will be linked in the description box below. And I want just to encourage you to get in your kitchen and make some bread. Make it with your own little twist. Use your creativity so that you can also be inspired by Kneady. I hope you're having a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.